Shalawam. First off, I want to say our praises to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Kodash. Double honors to apostles and elders of GMS, that till elect do and work in sincerity and in truth. Shalom. This is GMS precepts and Zarchad here. Real quick, I got a few articles on what they call the retail apocalypse. You see, actually, let me go to the article that says, where is it? Here it is. The retail apocalypse. Retailers to close 15,000 stores in 2025 as Macy's, Big Lots, and others experience period of disruption. So you got a lot of stores in the U.S. They're closing a lot of stores. The most store closures since 2020, and we all know what happened then. Here it is. Store closures hit highest level since pandemic. See who's shutting down the most locations, and you got Party City as one of them. Party City, Macy's, retailers. The sharpest jump since retailers in the U.S. shuttered almost 10,000 stores in 2020. So far this year, closures continue to climb. Retailers have already announced almost 2,000 store closures so far in 2025, and that's only of January 10th. Right now, we're in January 24th. The 5 retailers that have announced the most closures are Party City, which you see here in the pictured article. Party City, Big Lots, Walgreens, Buddha Line, 7-Eleven, Macy's, respectively. The retail advisory firm projects the retailers will close about 15,000 stores this year as some legacy brands shrink to file for bankruptcy protection or liquidating companies shutter locations. You see? So, another article, store closures hit highest level since pandemic. See who's shutting down the most locations, and I just read some of them, which include Big Lots, Walgreens, Party City, Macy's. It says the striking numbers reflect the stark divide between retailers as they're gaining market share and those who have lost ground. Amazon, Costco, and Walmart have gotten bigger as shoppers seek value and convenience. On the other hand, some smaller chains and specialty retailers have struggled to keep doors open and been forced to downsize. So ultimately, it's not looking good for these retail companies in America, which you see here goes. Here's another one: Big Lots, JoAnn, and other level companies file for bankruptcy in 2024. So a lot of these stores don't do too good, which would obviously affect or have a direct impact to the economy here in America. Retail apocalypse, they call it, right? 15,000 stores could close by 2025. Retail apocalypse is expected to accelerate in 2025 as store closures projected to double over last year. So last year, Courtside projects around 15,000 store closures in 2025, and that's only of right now. See, it said 2024 there were 7,000 over 7,000 closures, marking the highest level since 2020, since early 2020s. Nearly 10,000 closures. Now we're expected to double that, so it's supposed to be more. See, that's something they don't want to highlight in the title. It says they're projected to close even more than 2020. Right? There were 7,000 closures in 2024, which was the highest since 2020. But they're saying this year could double up double that, son. It says marking the highest level since 2020, nearly 10,000 closures. So in 2020, there were 10,000 store closures. 2025 are projected to have double, twice as many closures from last year, which is around 15,000 store closures. And mind you, that's just a projection from January, early January, right? What's to say? What's to say that it's not going to worsen after a projected um, event or a situation happens where it's going to just tank the economy even more, which might very well happen, which could happen. Um, so I'll leave all these in the description. Let me go to the article. It says, obviously, this is Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, when it goes into this very situation we see here. All the situation you see here right now is that's being played out was already prophesied in the scriptures, right? This is why the Bible is an so far is undefeated, right? Because all the prophecies have come to pass so far. I'm sorry, most of the prophecies, all the prophecies, eventually came to pass, right? We've only not all of them because we're still waiting for World War III, obviously the Lord's return. MOTB, the CHIP being fully implemented throughout the world. Obviously, those things they still have to take place, but they will. Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter, says a vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. You see? So it will come to pass. It just has to come out in its due season, right? So this is Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. I'm going to go to the point in verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few. The grinders represent the workers. And it means what? It shall what? Cease. Meaning the work is going to cease. There's not going to be work out there. There's going to be fewer and fewer jobs out there in the streets. And a lot of people are going to start struggling. Because they are few, and those that look out of their windows be darkened. Meaning what? For what they see in their future, whatever their projections might be, it's not going to come to pass. And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. And when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fears shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be burdened, and the desire shall fail, because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go to the streets. Meaning, it says, and the door shall be shut in the streets. When the sound of the grinding is low, he shall rise up at the sound of the bird, voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. So, normally, when it's about that time to go to work, there's not going to be any work to go to. Why? Because the grinding is going to be low. It's going to be damn near no jobs out there. And we can see, listen, 15,000 retail is a big industry. And anybody could do you don't need a college education to work in retail. Okay? So that's responsible for a lot of jobs out here, whether it's Walgreens, 7-Eleven, or whatever, McDonald's. A lot of people go through these jobs. A lot of people rely on these certain retail jobs to work. Now, if it's gonna double what it did in 2020, I'm sorry, if it's gonna far exceed, if 2020 was real bad and people were losing jobs left and right, if you thought 2020 was bad, this year is projected to be worse than 2020. It's projected to be double than it was last year. Last year was the highest it was since 2020 at over 7,000 store closures. This year is going to be double 7,000, so it's going to be around 15. And mind you, this is only as of the beginning of January. It can get even worse, you know. So, you know, a little bit under the weather. I'm gonna cut it short here. I'll leave these articles in the description box. Lord willing, brothers, sisters, ratified. Until the next show, shalawam.